Locho sampo pa gyu trashi pa Toche tempe trinle yarngoda Pege drolor zampe tse parache Palden lame shabla solwa de Omo a guru vajra dara suma timu nishasane karm Uta vardanya shri badra varsa manya sarva siddhi hum Om a guru vajra dar suma timu nishasane karm Uta vardanya shri badra varsa manya sarva siddhi Om Guru Vajrada Sumatimu Nishasane Karma Uta Vardanya Shri Badra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajradar Sumatimu Nishasane Karma Uta Vardanya Shri Badra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajradar Sumatimu Nishasane Karma Uta Vardanya Shri Badra Varsamanya Sarva Siddhi Ahum Dagi Jetsun Lama Tuje Che Nyamda Dala Tuje Siksu So Gebe Shesan Dala Tendu So Oyon Sungge Nawa Tsedu So Tseji Ningne Sowa Debe Tse Dejen Korlo Visu Lekshu Ne Yila Sambe Dede Malupa Gemel Hunge Drobra Jinge Lo Sonye Sodan Dikdun Shabe Tse Dunge Namge Yinsu Lekshu Ne Lapchen Tsonyi Yonsu Tsopa Dan Chera Nyedun Chamra Jingil Chancho Pargi Nyinsen Tukun Tu Nyu Peme Siudru Lekshune Chancho Drube Gegen Kunshi Shi Tungen Dela Drubra Jingilo Dagi Lona Chola Chopa Dan Chemi Samjor Ngemba Shiwa Dan Chedan Tumbe Dudun Malupa Bemel Hungi Drubra Jingilo Dorna Tengne Tsera Tamche Dan Techi Pardu Negaut Rese Kyamne Lama Keleme Tuje Chingi Dala Siksu So Gongyab Drewe Nyamda Dachala Chetsun Lame Tuje Rabgongne Kodan Sungi Nawa Drame Tu Nyamsu Nyongwe Kesan Toprasho Kewa Kuntu Yanda Lama Dan Drame Choki Pela Lonch Sadan Lamge Yende Rabzone Dorje Changi Koba Nyur Tobe Sho Pakyuke Kudan Dagi Lo Pakyuke Sondan Dagi Nga Pakyuke Todan Dagi Yi Tön Yerme Chikdu Chingi Lo Makyuke Kudan Dagi Lo Makyuke Sondan Dagi Nga Makyuke Todan Dagi Yi Tön Yerme Chikdu Chingi Lo Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Shakya Muni Soha. Cominciamo con una recitazione veloce della Guru Puja. We start with a brief recitation of the Guru Puja. Oya de jengale rani lama la kande selve kule veseratso chochoro trebe jinla pe taba ramjam bashi yöndengi köbe keba pünson sopra gyur rabkara gesen chimbe ngani le dadan kanya magen simjenam tene jisi chanchu nimbo bar Lama kunjo sumla kyapsu dro namo guru bye namo budai Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sangaya, Namo Gurubhye, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sangaya, Namo Gurubhye, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sangaya, Ma Simchen Kunge Tunge Chir, Dani Lama Har Gyurne Simchen Tamche Lama, Koban Chola Kobracha, Ma Simchen Kunge Tunge Chir, Dani Lama Lar Gyurne Simchen Tamche Lama, Koban Chola Kobracha, Ma Simchen Kunge Lar Gyurne Simchen Tamche Lama Laye Koban Chola Kobracha, Ma Simchen Tam Chege Tundu Dagi Tsedi Nila Nyurwa Nyurwa Deme Sangye Lama Lai Koba Ngundu Je Ma Simchen Tamche Dunga Ledre Dechen Sangye Ge Sala Kobrach Teye Chirto Lam Samo Lama Lai Nejo Nyamsu Langwara Ki Omo Ahum Omo Ahum Omo Ahum Hovo Yeshe La Namba Nanche Danche Tse Soso Nambra Chele Wambo Drugi Cheyo Do Deto Yeshe Gebra Chengebe Sada Parna Nanke Kyundam Che Yonso Kya China Sanwe Chutrin Tamze Chense Samge Mikya Be Kanwara Kyur De ton yermel halan yambra kunsan chetin tripe wo loma medo trebu yunse dogu pasam jumbetse donga barwe rinchen triten chuge nida gebete kadrin sumde tsawe lama sange kunge ngowo ni namba ngurmi zimbe gelon sheche chanye zumkaradru chaye chechen yunba nyamsha dutse kangwe longsen kurkun damden chogu sumso serdo penshe uladze Tukara kyabda dorje changwa shechi chani kudong. Dorje sungne yinchu magyo lhinge dedun robe ge nama rinche genge treshin la. Tsembe genden ve ser tomba chatsu nange korwe wo dorje kiltron sulgi shube pumbo namda deshe. Kamshi yumshi keche tsagyo tsinan chanchu semba ngo pabu rajo nire chit yala truwa wambo ni. Vesera chogyo ne jin sanwa jikden pana shabgi de tako brimshi ngogyo lama yidam kingo latso da sangye jansen pawo kandro tensung gyatso korneshu dedara gosun dorje sumse hungi vesera chagyo ranshi nene yeshepa chenra yerme tempara kyur pinso dele chune tusumgi Tagyo lama yidang kuncho sung, pawo kandro chogyon sun tsu che, tuche wange dirshe temprash, chona ranshin drowo kundre ya, natso duje samba chishintu, shiryang charwe kense trinle che, kyabgun tamba korche shekso so, omo guru boda bodhi satwa dharma bala sabariyo, hya hi tsa hum bam ho yeshe pana tamse pada niso me para kyur kange tuje dewa chenpo ye kusung goban chegyan keje la chotse lama rinchen tabu ku dorje chensha pe mo cha zelo rabchan gyalwa kunge yeshen kande chiryan charwe tabke cho ngurme zimbe karge nero Kyabgun dambe shabla cha tselo nyekun pacha cheba chuchun shi pame yunden rinchen tsoge te pende malu chungwe goche po jetsun lame shabla cha tselo larche tomba sange kunge ngo gete shidon tamcho chungwe ne patso kunge una lange o Rinchen lama namla cha tselo tusum chochuru shube lama da rinchen chosum chawe tamche la Teche mebe tuyang gyatso che, shindo nyambe ludru cha tse lo e kyabkwan che tsun lama korchel, natso churin gyatso bilwa ni kule rinche weba noyan le, tache dutse chushi degi ba dombo sima tringwa pele, sebe medo sadam parnang kan tishin pegi duba binduri, Yarke ngombo tige lalan tre nida norbu rabkara tongmetsu tongsu minse wese tsega gabo tsenden kurkon trigo pe pechun tsochen koryo kunek roge chuden sacha tunga dan hada mi shase lombo Natso romo cheran tanye le chungwe danye gyue sasung sutra tiro rekche peze chinan dunyo lhamu chu kun kyab sa shi peke chushi medo tran rirab ling shi nide gem Migde uwargi drogu namda shingla chebra sho chewa trage lingshe lumbro che rinchen dunda nyewe rinchen Konga kebe nöcho penson so lami longcho dogu terchembe dawe semge pulchon shinge cho kyabkon toche chen la ulwar ge ye dam guru ratna manra Ya mi ngo shan yi zhu yi xin gya tsu ngo si shi nam kara le wo chun zengi dado gebe kunge yi zhu xin jikden le de ran shingi go song gebe me do chi an tra kun san chebe chen so bum ro xin lap su rim ni lang e den de be ga zen che tsun lama ni chi bu kur kong dam de sambu ching e che ro ge pe zen ge che tuan Chakyo nga dan drama nga la so chandun barwe dutse kya so chu Iwan la so pe zin chu chu shin debe gyuze la ge ludrama Shinge nga ge lhinge ponye so zedu gyume chakya nangya bul Timde lhinge dewe yeshe che chuku ranshin tondan dewe Yerme lundru ma samchule de tunda chanchu simchu kyo la bul Nyomo shikya sashi necho pe sambo mingi chira na zoda Kyone gichir da rembula na Namkara chisim baso sondo so Tome dune mige dikpele Gidan gitse iran chichi pa Tuje chenren chengara gyosemgi Shakshin lenche mige domban Chona ranshin tsema danre yang Milam chishin keba tamchegi Dega chirian charwe namkara la dacha samba taube irang Pulchon kenze chunzin bumdre te taye drodi pende kundetse Keda yundu nedan pewe chir sabge chogi charba avtoso Dorje kula kechik minga yang suncho wange gyab Dacha meba jishe sete bar Nyange mida tabra shososo Deda trumbe namkara gewe tso karin sumden chetsun lamai Tsera kundu dreme jetsenchi Suncho dorje changwa top chirungu Yenden jongne tsurin gyatso che mando narbu tso Kanda dena devara shekpe lam Tembra webe yenden chuden pa Malyo gyalwe düzen çöge che tekço gewe şelaso Gosum ledam lochen sodenra Gümen adan göşeşin tenü çusun redan çekepe Sola sova de sange rame Drovala deşe lamsa çişin tümbayi Kevkon tuçe çela sova de Tübe nima tübge nübgürüde gongya mebe drova mambola Yahweh zeba nyevara druzepe Kevkon tuçe çela sova de Tamjele kange bhabo boga chizayan Dacha sunam shindo lenga pe Kevkon tuçe çela sova de Genge korlo ni Jogele tame tsuge drowa drinzepe Tuche chenla sowa de deshe Yenla nam deshe ringa yabyon sembada Trove wambo ranshin chosungi Chola sowa de kunge yeshe reba lechungwe Kilkor korlo jewe danyete Rike kyabda dorche zimbe tso Sunchu dambu gunla sowa de Time linge gawe reba da Yerme tenyo kungya kunge da Toma tatre kunsan tendam Chancho simgo kyo la sowa de Kini lama kyo ni yedam kyo ni kandro che kyonte Tene son te chancho pardo Kyo min kyabshe mi tsolwe Didam pardo chi me taryang Toche chagyu song tsola Si shi ji trol ngo drup kun so Tengi trol so pa cho song kyo ni lama, kyo ni yidam, kyo ni kandro che kyonte, tene sonte chancho pardo, kyo min kyabshe mi tsolwe, didam pardo chi metarya, toje chagyu song tsola, si shi chi trol ngo drup kun, tengi trozo pachos, kyuni lama, kyuni yidam, kyuni kandro che gyonte, tene sonte chancho pardo, kyo min kyabshe mitsowe, didam pardo chi met, toje chagyu song tsola, si shi chik trol ngo drup kun so, tengi trozo pachos, kyuni lama, kyuni yidam, kyuni kandro che kyonte, tene sonte chancho pardo, kyo min kyabshe mitsowe, didam bardo chi metarya, toje chagyo song tsolam, chi tro ngo dro kun so, tengi trozo pa cho so, tetarlen son so wa ta pe tu, la me ko son to ge ne nam le, du tse ser karmar tin ka song, rim dan chik char chung ne da ni gi, ne son rim dan chik char tin pa le, rip shi tak chi nam da wang shi top, ko shi top chin la ma ni bash, ge shin tim jingi la pare kyo. Verso 84, verse 84. Shincho tamba chetsun lama la chechin kube sowa tabe tu dele tsawa gombo kyuni gi geshi chetsun zimbra jingi lo lenche tsamshi nyebe del churadi nyeka nyurdo jikpe tsuto ne tome tsedi chawe miye war tende nimbo lembra jingi lo ngeson dunge barwe mejik ne ningne kuncho sumla kemdrosh Dibong gezo tada drupala tsumba lulen chebra jingelo Nyumon balon trado tru dunge sumge chuse mambut Tame jiron sitso chembo le tardo shura keura jingelo Gawe tsildara tongwe lobane Soson te tarpe gensen tsimbra jingelo Dukpe pula tsewe mashinto Choshe mebra nye dada shenla kebra yomishi Ha kebra jingelo Bashin zeba yi kyunda yenden yewa tobe lo dashe nyamche nubra jingelo Dala minba da dage dege shenla tangwai Drogun dedan dembra jingelo. Jetsun lama tuje che makyo drove dirib dungak. Malu tada dala mimba dan dagi zik. Tangwa yi drogun dedan dembra jingelo. Jetsun lama tuje che makyo drove dirib dungak. Malu tada dala mimba dan dagi dege shenla tangwa yi. Drogun dedan dembra jingelo. Neju dibe trebu yongkan de mide dunga chartara bab gyuro kya. Inge trebu sebe gyurdo ne kinge lamdo longra jingelo. Dona sange nawa chishara yang chugu nimbo tomge nyamling. Chanchu semni pewe lam gyuro te yide bashi kom. Shidan dembe tabke gi trela kanto komla chorwada. Locho tamze labche nyamlengi decho tunchen chombra jingelo. Chamda ninje lape sam. Jona sitso chile drove chire chancho semni chongra jingelo. Kunge droche lam namda gyase domba gyudamshi. Chebra jingelo. Luda loncho tusum gezo che. Chiriya midun shin gecho duda semche dundrupe sudrin parchen zobra jingelo. Kamsong kego malu chogyurute shishin tsandro dikshin sokcho kyan. Midro nolen pemba sebe parchen zobra jingelo. Semche rere chiriya narme. Kyambede. Nelo la tsechi nyambra chobe tinzingi samden parchen. Tope sherabgi trambe shinchan dechen danrewa. Nyamsha namge nejogi shera parchen sobra jingelo. Milan dan dambe tsonan daso chishintu. Nayan dembra mebe tsodone gyume tinzin sobra jingelo. Korde ranshin duza mebada gyure tenre loa mebani. Penso game trokso chan. Gondon tobra jingelo. Tene dorje zimbe tepengi. Trinle gyude gyatso jigete. Modro tsawa tamze dombana. Sole chebra zimbra jingelo. Gyalwe kosonto gyurwe rimba tambo nechoge. Tame nashin trima kunchante. Kana lhagwe charwara jingelo. Ninge dabge dudi udautu. Gongyo shabsen koba lechongwa. Wese gyulo sondo jobela. Sedi ngondo gyurwa jingelo. Lamna masin chiwe tujena. Tsenda tsangya lame powa. Tomga yanda charwe damga ge. Tabe shindo drupra jingelo. Dona keshin kewa tamche tu. Gombo kyoge drame chetsone. Segi turo gyurwa jingelo. Gongyo kanto ngombra sangebe korge toma nido da gyurate. Neka utardo gondo malupa. Bemel hunge drupe tashitso. Sangye chodan soge chonamla. Chancho pardo dani kyapsuchi. Dagi chushe gibe sonamgi. Trola pinchira sangye druparesh. Sangye chodan sogi chonamla. Chancho pardo dani kyapsuchi. Dagi chushe gibe sonamgi. Trola pinchira sangye druparesh. Sangye chodan sogi chonamla. Chancho pardo dani kyapsochi. Dagi chushe gibe sonamgi. Sangye druparesho. in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. So today, we will continue the explanation of the Guru Puja, this very precious text, which is like, for me, is like a map, like a guide in order for our own practice to enlightenment. And has, as we have already said before, each part of the Guru Puja should have 3 parts, which is what we need to recite, what we are supposed to visualize, and what is the state of consciousness that we should generate. So it has 3 parts that goes together, no? Most of the times what we do is that we recite the Guru Puja. We are not meditating. Like very often we simply do the recitation. But actually this is just the first step. Because the words that we say, as slowly we learn the meaning of the words. And then this should help us to direct our mind in order for us to do the visualization and actually to generate the state of consciousness, which is the main objective. So we have started from the very beginning, as doing the preliminary practices, and now we have reached the part of making offerings. So last time we were talking a lot about the importance of doing offerings, the meaning of doing offerings, why we do offerings, and so on. And now we have reached the part of the actual verses. So I don't want to go on again and again with doing other introductions that we have already done before. Otherwise, every time we just stay a long time in the introduction, even though I like them quite a lot. But then, finally, we are not moving much with the text, okay? So, as we will do the offerings, we are in verse number 23. There are actually many different types of offerings, as we will see now. But the reason, very briefly, why we need to make offerings, last time we have already seen it in many details, but there are different reasons why we do offerings. Very briefly, let's say there are 2 main reasons. One is that for us we need to accumulate merits in our life. Merits, as we have seen before, it's a word that we really don't have a good translation. It's punya in Sanskrit. But it means that we need to accumulate the causes in order to have the result. Making a metaphor that I don't like so much, but it's quite clear. If I need to buy something, it's not enough that someone is selling it. I must have accumulated the money. So normally when we think about causes, we are mostly connected, let's say, to the momentary causes, to the immediate causes, which are actually the conditions. But before getting the result, I must have accumulated the causes on the past also. I must accumulate, let's call the positive energy, in order to be able to get the result in the moment that the immediate causes are there, which are the conditions are there. So it's similar to the fact, first I need to accumulate the money, then there needs to be someone selling, then I can buy. If there is someone selling and I am there, but I haven't got the money, it's not enough. I must accumulate the causes before. Similar to that, we need to accumulate merits, we need to accumulate positive energy. And it's by accumulating such positive energy that we call merits, then actually after, when there are the conditions, I can get the result. Otherwise, there will be all the conditions and I would not experience the result. So to accumulate merits is extremely important, both for our mundane life and most of all for our spiritual life also. Because if I need to develop inner qualities such as love and compassion and patience and stability, all of this will bring me great joy. And without merits, I cannot develop such qualities. If we do not develop enough merits, it will all remain just as some intellectual type of knowledge. It will not go deep inside our heart. So, we need to accumulate merits. And there are different ways of accumulating merits. The main and most well-known way of accumulating merits is by sharing, is by giving. So we can give to sentient beings, which is called an act of generosity, and we can give to holy beings, which is called an act of faith, of offering. Okay? So in the Guru Puja we have both, offering to sentient beings and offering to holy beings. At this point we are offering to holy beings. We are offering to holy beings through Guru Buddha, as we call Lama Tuban Dorje Chang, Lama Lobsan Dorje Chang, Lama Lobsan Tuban Dorje Chang, which is Guru Sumati Shakyamuni Vajradhara. which is our guru, that is inseparable as the appearance as Lama Tsongkhapa. Sumati is Lobsang, which means Lama Tsongkhapa. Shakyamuni, inseparable of Buddha Shakyamuni and inseparable of Buddha Vajradhara. So we visualize in front of us, there is our guru in the appearance inseparable of Lama Tsongkhapa. In his heart is Buddha Shakyamuni. In the heart of Buddha Shakyamuni is Buddha Vajradhara. Okay? So the most important is that Guru Buddha in front of us is inseparable of all our gurus and most of all inseparable of all Buddhas of the 3 times. So with that, we do offerings. And the reason why we do offerings is that we need to not only accumulate merit, but the other reason why we do offerings is also because it helps us to generate an inner state of gratitude, of faith, of respect. These 3 qualities are qualities that are very important for our mind, are very important for our own, let's say, happiness and for our own spiritual development. First of them is gratitude. Without gratitude, actually, we cannot gain anything. So normally when we do not have gratitude means we haven't received enough. When we have gratitude means we value what we have, we value what we receive. And value and gratitude, it's really a very, very, very important quality. I'm not going to go into details right now, but it's a very, very important state of mind, quality that we need to cultivate. So by making offerings as a symbol of gratitude also, we cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is important both in our, let's say, daily mundane life and also in our spiritual path. Especially in the spiritual path, without gratitude, we cannot move on. It's very, very important. Second, we have respect. And third, we have faith, which are also another 2 qualities that are very important. And when we make offerings, we are actually cultivating these states of mind. That's why what we do is that we recite the verses of offering, we do the visualizations, and we develop this mind of gratitude, of respect, of faith. That's what we develop inside as we do the offerings. Okay? And it's also a way as we request, when together with faith comes the request of blessings. We do the offerings also making the request of blessings at the same time. Okay? So let's go to see the verses. So, at this point, as we do the offerings, we have 5 different types of offerings, okay, which we call external offerings, internal offerings, secret offerings, offerings of emptiness, and offerings of service and medicine. Okay? We could give many reasons why we have these different types of offerings, and we could just go on and explain them right away. But there is a very precise connection between these 5 offerings and the 4 initiations. Actually, the Guru Puja is a text that is fully in accordance with the Vajrayana practice. Okay? And there are many levels of explanation and practice that we can do within the Guru Puja. Okay? But so, as we do the offerings, actually, as we do the 5 different types of offerings, each offering is serving as a cause, as a positive interdependence, and also as a request for the initiations that we will receive later in the practice. When we do Kyunyi Lama, Kyunyi Yidam after, we will receive the 4 initiations. So they act as a cause and also as a request for the 4 initiations. Okay, so what are the 4 initiations? This is a very important subject within Vajrayana Buddhism and within the Tantra. So, and because it's not an easy subject, I like to talk about it more again and again, so that slowly we start to get acquainted with it. We start to get to understand a little bit more of it. So now we are not going to go into many details, just to try to get a rough idea about it, and then later we can go into more details about it, okay? So we have 4 initiations. Before of that, in the Vajrayana practice, we have actually, it's divided mostly into 2 parts, which we call the generation stage and the completion stage, okay? The generation stage is mostly where we simulate the process of transformation, of enlightenment. The completion stage is where we do the actual process. Okay, both of them are extremely important. Okay,
But the 4 initiations are part of the completion stage. We do the 4 initiations in the generation stage also, but as a simulation, actually. The actual 4 initiations are part of the completion stage. So what are the 4 initiations? We have the first, which is called the vase initiation. Then we have the secret initiation. Then the third is called the wisdom initiation. And the fourth is called the word initiation. Okay? So, the vase initiation is divided into 6 parts, which are the bell initiation of Amoghasiddhi, the crown initiation of Ratnasambhava, the water initiation of Akshobhya, the Vajra initiation of Amitabha, the name initiation of Vairochana, and the Vajra master initiation. Okay? These are the 6 vase empowerments. In all the empowerments, in all these 4 initiations or the 4 empowerments, we can translate it as we prefer. Actually, empowerment is a better word. But these 4 empowerments, as all the parts of the practice, when we do the practice, we need to divide it into 3 parts, which is we need to understand 3 aspects of the practice, which is what to recite, what to visualize, and what's the state of consciousness, the inner state that we need to generate. So, what we recite and what we visualize regarding the 4 initiations, it's slightly different according to the practice that we are following. If we are doing the practice of Vajrayogini, or if we are doing the practice of Yamantaka, or if we are doing according to self-healing, the 4 initiations, the recitation is a little bit different, the visualization is a little bit different, but the actual inner, deeper state of meditation is the same. Okay, the state of consciousness that we are supposed to generate is the same. Okay, so I'm not going now into details about visualization and recitation, and not even into details about the state of consciousness, but at least that's what I want to touch just briefly. So, the vase initiation is where we purify our mind and body in a more gross level. Okay, the first 5 initiations, which is the bell empowerment, the crown empowerment, the water empowerment, the Vajra empowerment, and the name empowerment, is where we transform and purify our 5 aggregates. Okay? And then the Vajra Master empowerment is where we generate the pure identity after having transformed our 5 aggregates. Why it is called the water empowerment, the vase empowerment, the first 6, is because all the 6 empowerments, they happen through the pouring of water. It's all connected with water. As we do the visualization of all the 6 empowerments, there is always the visualization of all the empowering deities that come with water and pour water on our crown. Our body is completely filled with water and nectar, that then all the negativities are purified, transformed, and so on. And actually, this is just one small, between brackets, is that if we look even in the Western, let's say, Christian tradition, how is the empowerment made? Through water. No? And if we look in the ancient Buddhist practice, I read this somewhere, and so I'm not 100% sure about what I'm saying now, but I think it's like this. In the ancient times, when during the vase empowerment in Buddhism, they had a little place where people would sit inside and they would have water pouring on their crown, on their head. So there is this whole thing. Then later what happened is that the different Mahasiddhas, they had different traditions. So that's why we have the vase. So one is when you do the initiation, you just sprinkle the water. The other one, you just give the water a little bit on the hand. Then you put the water in the head like this as a symbol. But originally, you had a lot of water being poured on your head also. Okay? So it has also the symbol of purification and transformation. And the first 6 initiations, they go through the symbol of water. Then why they are called the bell empowerment, the crown empowerment, and so on? Because the main goal of these initiations is to generate the union of great bliss and emptiness. And through the union of great bliss and emptiness, which means through the generation of bliss that realizes the true nature of phenomena, which is emptiness, we purify the mind and the body. We purify ourselves. So in the first 6 empowerments, for example, in the first one, we generate great bliss that realizes emptiness through the symbol of the bell. By listening to the sound of the bell and by seeing and touching the bell from Buddha Moggasiddhi, it becomes the condition through which we generate the union of great bliss and emptiness. Then the second one is by receiving the crown. So by receiving the crown of Ratnasambhava, it is the condition through which we generate the union of great bliss and emptiness. Then the third, by receiving the water and the vase of Akshobhya, we generate the union of great bliss and emptiness. The same thing is with the Vajra of Amitabha and the name that we received by Buddha Vairochana. So, and then after, by the union of Vajra, Bell, and Mudra, which is the Vajra Master Empowerment, we develop the union of great bliss and emptiness. Okay? So, this is one of the reasons why we have these names of the empowerments. I'm just doing it very superficially now, not really going into many details, okay? So here we have this first empowerment, which is called the vase empowerment. So we remember that the vase empowerment is what in self-healing we have, starting with now Lama Tunyo Dorje Kyen. We start with the Amoghasiddhi, bell empowerment, and we go up to the part where we, without any sound, we just do the hugging mudra and we receive the Vajra Master empowerment, okay? So this, briefly, we call the vase empowerment. And through this empowerment, we are purifying our body and mind in a more gross level. It's still subtle. It's not the normal, just conceptual level, but it's on a more gross level. After that, we have the secret empowerment. There are many reasons why it's called secret empowerment, but we are not going to go into that right now. Later, we are going to go into that aspect. And the secret empowerment is basically where we purify, we generate the union of great bliss and emptiness, and we purify our mind in a more subtle level. And the main condition through which we generate the union of great bliss and emptiness is the male energy and the female energy. So this is like in self-healing when we do the Om Mani Padme Hum. Okay? At this moment is that where we use the condition of the male energy and the female energy to generate the union of great bliss and emptiness that purifies our mind in a more subtle level. So this is what we are doing as this is called the secret empowerment. After that, we have the wisdom empowerment, which is the short name is wisdom empowerment. The complete name would mean wisdom consort empowerment, which basically is called in this way because it is when we unite the male and female energy, and by the union of the male and female energy, everything is within our central channel. Within our central channel, when we unite the male and female energy, by this union, we experience a sensation of great bliss and emptiness that purifies our mind and body in an even more subtle level. Then after that, we have what is called the word empowerment. The word empowerment is called word empowerment because it is beyond words. There's no way how to put into a conceptual explanation. And actually, the actual word empowerment is the state of enlightenment. Okay? Then, before that, we have the representative word empowerment, is where we simulate the state of enlightenment, which is also called the union of clear light and illusory body. But this is something that in another moment we can go into details. It's quite, not complex, but quite deep aspects. So now we're just giving an introduction to it so we can start having some familiarity with it. Okay? So basically, the 4 empowerments, as we start with the vase empowerment, secret empowerment, wisdom empowerment, and word empowerment, we are purifying by generating the union of great bliss and emptiness by different conditions. We are purifying our body and mind from a gross to a subtle and very, very subtle level. Okay? That's basically what we do through the 4 empowerments. So, we do the offerings in order to create the causes to receive the 4 empowerments and in order also to request the 4 empowerments. Okay? The 4 empowerments is something that happens within us, but we request Guru Buddha that to give us the empowerment so we generate this state of consciousness inside. So, again, we have the external offerings, which we do in order to request and to create the causes to receive the vase empowerment. We have the internal offerings, which are connected, which we do in order to request the blessed, to request and to create the causes to receive the secret empowerment. Then we have the secret offerings, which is connected to the wisdom empowerment. And we have the offerings of emptiness, which is connected to the word empowerment. And then after that, we have the offerings of service and medicine, which are connected to the keeping correctly our commitments. Because once we receive the initiations, in order for us to be able to keep it well and to really have the realizations, it's very important for us to keep our commitments correctly. Okay, we'll talk all about this later, but this is the reason why we have the fifth type of offering also. Okay, so this is the relation between these two parts. As I said before, these offerings is something, this four initiations is not something so easy to understand. It's quite deep, it's quite, how to say, and it's even, I have never really found texts that are explaining it very, very clear, at least for my mind. So it takes some time for us to understand it. That's why I prefer first to get acquainted with it, we talk about it, then slowly we will go on to it, okay? But now we go back to the actual offerings. So now, we continue with the next verses of offering. So after having made offerings of water, we start now with the offerings of flowers and so on. So, where are we? 1 second. Okay, verse 25. Beautiful flowers and trees in blossom with bouquets and garlands exquisitely arranged fill the earth and the sky. So we visualize that many offering deities comes from our heart and the whole environment becomes beautiful with flowers. So we have many flowers, there are many trees that are blossoming with beautiful flowers, like when a beautiful spring, like we have nowadays here. So imagine these beautiful trees with many, Guru Buddha is there, and around Guru Buddha, the whole environment is filled up with flowers, like a beautiful spring. At the same time, there are flower garlands that are around. It's like when we do the Ramnechemo, that we have these garlands that are put around. It's like representing these many flower garlands, and then flowers are offered in front of Guru Buddha. Then there is a rain of petals of flowers coming from the sky also. So imagine this extremely beautiful environment. So, and the deities bringing the flowers are coming from our heart, bringing the flowers and reabsorbing back into our heart. Okay. The mudra that we do is, as normally we say, the pushbe. So is the mudra that we imagine a flower blossoming. Okay. So we do, first of all, we'll just do like this so you can see better. We have the thumb, which is just touching the edge of the other fingers, and then they will all just open. So in the heart, when we do pushbe, we just imagine the flower blossoming. Okay? So this is the mudra that we do, and we visualize the offering of flowers. Next verse, we have then after that the offerings of incense. So as we say, Chishimpögi duba bendorye yarke ngombo tigil halang tik. The heavens below with blue summer clouds of lazuli smoke from sweet fragrant incense. Basically, what we visualize is that many offering deities come and bring incense, and the whole environment becomes filled up with this very nice smell of incense. Otherwise, for me, if I visualize, these very strong clouds of incense, it becomes a little bit intoxicating. So I don't like, in my mind, it doesn't fit so well. So I prefer to imagine this very nice smell with fragrant incense that it fills up the whole environment. It's not like, for example, when we do puja, sometimes there is someone passing with an incense. In the moment that is in front of us, we can feel a little bit of smell, but after some time, a few meters after, we cannot feel anymore. Not like this. The whole environment is filled up with this very pleasant smell of very nice incense, okay? And as we do the mudra, actually here we have the differences of mudras because according to Kriya Tantra, Charya Tantra, Yoga Tantra, which is the three first classes of Tantra, the offering deities have one face and two arms. And according to Anuttara Yoga Tantra, the highest Tantra, the offering deities have one face and four arms. So because of that, it changes the way of doing the mudra. For example, here, when we do the incense, if it's with the deities, offering deities have two arms, we do this mudra, which represents many incense sticks put together. So as we do like this, okay? When we do actually, according to Anuttara Yoga Tantra, like we are doing now in Guru Puja, we do this mudra like this, okay? Which represents throwing powder incense on a recipient full of choke, you say in English? No? Of, how do you say, un braciere, un carbone, coal, with burning coal, so you throw the incense on the coal so that the fragrance will come out. So normally imagine that you have two hands that are holding the container with coal, and then another two hands are throwing powder incense on top of it. That's why we do, imagine that we have the container below us and we do this mudra. Okay? So the mudra is like throwing the incense inside. Okay? So we offer incense. After that, we will offer the light. Okay? And the verse says, Nida no borabkar dröme so tongsum munse wösertse gagö. Light from suns and moons, glittering jewels and scores of flaming lamps, frolicking joyfully dispel the darkness of thousands of millions of billions of worlds. Which is, we imagine that the light, we offer many suns, which means many stars and many moons, and a lot of many light reflecting from jewels and candles. And we imagine that this beautiful light expands through the whole universe, to everywhere where existence is, and eliminates every form of ignorance. It dispels away the ignorance. So the light symbolizes wisdom, and the darkness symbolizes ignorance. So basically from the fact that ignorance is the inability of seeing, and where there is darkness we cannot see. So we imagine that the darkness is completely eliminated as this light expands. So the environment where Guru Buddha is, it becomes very pleasant with a beautiful light. And then this light expands through the whole universe, eliminating any sort of ignorance, any sort of darkness. Okay? So the mudra here that we do according to the Anuttara Yoga Tantra is the mudra of the sun and the moon. So we do this mudra. Okay? So which is representing actually that we are offering the sun and the moon. When we do the mudra according to the lower tantra, we offer the candle, not the sun and the moon. And the mudra doesn't fit so well with our culture normally because this is the mudra. Okay? So if you are in a monastery during a ceremony and you see the monks suddenly doing this, it doesn't mean they have anything with you. There's nothing wrong with that. It's simply they are making the candle offerings at that time, okay? So it's just something that culturally is different, but we need to go beyond our preconcepts as we do the practice. We are in a completely different context, okay? So, but in this case, we are actually doing the practice according to Anuttara Yoga Tantra, so we offer the sun and the moon, so we do this mudra. Okay, then after offering the sun and the moon, offering light, we offer perfume. Vast seas of scented waters imbued with the fragrance of saffron, sandalwood, and camphor swirl out the horizons. Which basically, when we offer perfume, we are offering to the chest. Okay? So we do this mudra. This mudra represents that actually the other two hands are holding the container filled up with fragrant water or perfume, and then the two hands are actually taking and passing on the chest. Okay? So normally we just keep the two hands at the height of our chest, and we imagine that we are offering, that the deities come and they offer this perfume at the chest of the deities, in this case of Guru Buddha. If we are doing in the lower tantra, one hand is holding the container, the other hand is doing the mudra of passing. Okay? So this is why we do the mudras in this way. Actually, when we offer the perfume, it's offered to the heart. That's why also when we do like the Yamantaka practice, the offering of perfume comes before. Just we do Argam Padyam Gende Pushpe. Just after the water, the first one after the waters is perfume, according to the Yamantaka practice. Why? Because Yamantaka has a special connection with the heart chakra, with Akshobhya, with pacifying anger, and so on. So because of that, there is a special connection with our heart also. Okay, but generally speaking, this is the point where we do the offering of perfume. So we do Gende, offering of perfume from the heart. And we visualize the deities, and we imagine that this perfume, it extends through the whole expanse of space, and it brings and it touches the heart of Guru Buddha. And then the deities reabsorb back into our heart. After that, we offer food. So as we say, delicacies of gods and men, drink and savories, and feasts with ingredients of 100 flavors, amass at Mount Mero. Amass as Mount Mero. We have as much food as there is Mount Mero. It's like infinite amount of food. So what type of food do we offer? What we feel the best. Okay, it depends on our culture. We don't need to offer tsampa and butter and yak meat. Okay, we can offer whatever fits best according to our culture. We offer that which for us is the best. Normally we also talk about offering the food with the 36 flavors, which is, we have the 6 types of tastes, which let's say, normally I don't know them in Tibetan, but we have salt, salty, sweet, sour, acid, spicy, and astringent. Okay, so there's 6 types of tastes. And then we have sweet, sour, sweet, spicy, sweet, astringent. And like this, you will go and you make the different combinations, and we have the 36 different types of tastes. So we offer foods of all different types. One of them is the bitter taste, no? So we offer all these different types of food. And then always we imagine the deities coming from our heart, making the offerings and coming back and reabsorbing back into our heart. After that, we offer music, as we say. Music from an endless variety of various instruments blends into a symphony, filling the 3 realms. So it's like if we imagine a beautiful orchestra, or whatever is the best type of music we want to offer. So imagine that these beautiful deities are cutting out of our heart, playing the different instruments, and this music fills the whole vast of space. Okay? So basically what we imagine is we imagine this beautiful environment with nice smell, with incense, with the water, with a nice temperature. It has the beautiful perfume and food around, and playing music and flowers. So imagine this extremely beautiful environment where Guru Buddha is. Okay, the mudras when we offer the food is actually the description is the mudra of prayer with the hands open towards the sky, and the 2 index fingers slightly bent inside. Okay, so we don't do bend like this. We just bend them slightly, okay? And we touch the 2 hands looking towards the sky. So this is when we offer the food. In the mudra of music, we can play the instruments such as the bell and with the madamaro, or if we have like a singing bowl like this, we can also play it. Or we do there are different mudras that we can do, which is, for example, like this mudra, which represents like touching 2 symbols, or it can do also this mudra, which means like playing a drum. You can do in different ways, okay? And there is one practice where we do this mudra also, which means like playing a guitar, okay? This is in Kunrik, Sarwa B. There is also this mudra. Anyhow, also when we offer the 16 offering the kinis, there is also this mudra, and then there's mudra of playing a flute, and then there's mudra of different types of drums. Then there's this mudra when we offer a smile. And then there's the mudra where we offer dance, They're all different. There are many different types of mudras. But anyhow, here It's just we don't. This is not directly inside the Guru Puja. When there is the extensive version of the Guru Puja, then all these mudras enter also. Anyhow, so we have the mudra of food, and then we have the mudra of music. Okay. After this, we have then normally we close, and then after we have the offerings of the five senses, which is sense of seeing, listening, smelling, tasting, and touching. So we offer form, which means it represents like a mirror. We offer perfume for smell. We offer we offer that music, sound. Then after we offer food for taste. And then we offer touch, which is like a beautiful cloth, like made out of or silk or something like that, which the mudra, it represents like if we open a cloth like this. Okay? So imagine we do like that. So the difference when we did the enzamana, the mudra of refreshing the mouth, we just open in this way. In this case, we do like this. Finally the mudra is the same, but the process of the mudra is different, no? One is we just do like this, enzamana, and this we do in this way. Okay? Which is sparsha. So with the verse says, Sutra goddesses of outer and inner desirable objects, holding symbols of sight and sound, smell, taste and touch, pervade all directions. So, in this moment, we do the five mudras, and then we close again, and we visualize that this offering deities of the five senses go, make all the offerings, and come back and reabsorb back into our heart. So in this way here, we conclude the first part of external offerings, okay? After that, and also with actually two parts, the objects of pleasure and then the five senses also. Then after that, we have the mandala offering, okay? All right. Now, verse number 32, we go actually to the next part, which is called offering the mandala. I was going through the commentary that I have here of the Guru Puja, which very fortunately we have it also written in English. And I was looking very quickly now through the commentary, passing again through it, and I couldn't find any specific explanation of why to do the mandala offering. Okay, and basically because when these teachings were given, there was no the need to specify why. It was quite obvious to do the mandala offering. So all the explanation is very detailed explanation on how to do. So there is the whole visualization with every symbol that we visualize, what's the meaning of it, how it is visualized, and so on and so on. I have very, very detailed explanation about all of that. And then physically how we can offer the mandala, all of this is it's explained in really, really very, very details. But first of that, I believe that in the context that we are right now, I prefer to use the time and to dedicate more to explain first of all why to do the mandala offering. Because once we understand why, then it fits better in our mind. And then after we can do it also, then we can go into the details of how to do and what the symbols and so on. So, first of all, when we do the mandala offering, what we are offering, the word mandala in Tibetan is said kilkor. Kil means center. Kor means around. Kor means around, okay? So center and surrounding, which represents the universe in this context, okay? There are many different meanings of many different contexts where we can use the word mandala, okay? In this context, it means offering a pure environment, offering the universe in a pure way. So what we are doing basically is as we do the mudra of making the offering of the mandala, there are different ways how we can do that. We can do it with our hands. We can do it holding the bell. We can do it with having a basis of the mandala and putting the different rings and filling it up with precious stones and rice and so on. We can do it in many different ways, this mandala offering, okay? When we visualize, basically, we visualize that it doesn't matter if it's in our hands or with the bell or with the mandala, traditional mandala offering. But we visualize that within our hand, it's like it's a sphere that is like reflecting. It's like imagine a sort of a mirror that reflects everything around. Or in other words, it can also be seen, I like sometimes to imagine, like these little glass balls with some little castle inside, and then you shake it and it's a sort of fake snow going around. Okay? Something like that, but inside there is the whole universe. So within our hands, we have the whole universe inside there that we are offering. In this universe, we visualize it completely pure. We imagine a pure environment. Okay? So one of the meanings is that before we were offering the objects of the five senses and the objects of pleasure, and the objects that we were offering, they were mostly according to what we think is good or bad. Right? But when we offer the whole universe, we go beyond what we think is good and what we think is bad. We simply offer everything. So we offer the whole universe. We offer everything that exists. We simply don't make any more difference. So we go beyond our own personal judgment of good or bad. This is one of the meaning. Because for the Buddha, anything that he receives is pleasurable. Everything that he receives is good. So we go beyond our own personal view and limitation of good and bad, and we offer everything that exists. Okay? But we offer it manifested in a pure form. The reason why we manifest it in a pure form is because the environment is very important for our own practice. If we look, where did Buddha go to meditate? In a pure environment. Whenever we do an initiation, what's the first thing that we do? We generate a pure environment. Okay? So, the environment is actually very important. And one of the main ways of creating the causes to experience a pure environment is by offering a pure environment. So as we visualize this beautiful, wonderful environment with no sort of pollution, with no conflicts, no wars, everyone in harmony, and then we can visualize the beautiful waters and mountains, and we imagine this world completely pure, without any sort of conflict of impurity. And then we offer it with all the precious things, and then we offer. By making such offerings, we are creating the causes for ourselves in the future and to experience such pure environment. In the process to enlightenment, there is one thing called in Tibetan Shindakjong, Shingtakjong Cheba, or a Shingjong. Xing means environment, Zhong means purification. So there is a process to purify the environment, which means once we reach enlightenment, we do not experience anymore any impurity. Everything is experienced in a pleasurable and pure way. So, but there is a process to create the causes for that. There is a whole process where we need to create the merits, we need to create the causes in order to be able to experience the environment in a pure form. So when we make the mandala offering, and we are offering this wonderful, beautiful world and environment and universe, we are creating the causes by that for us to experience such pure environment. So I would say that not only in the past, all the great masters have given an immense emphasis to the mandala offering. Lama Tsongkhapa himself did more than 1 million mandala offerings. And normally, when we do physically the practice of offering the mandala, we have a basis on top of which we put the rings with the rice or the stones and so on. And in the beginning, first we turn the hand 3 times outwards and then 3 times inwards, which symbolizes taking away the negative mind, cleaning our mind, taking away the negative thoughts, bringing in the positive thoughts, generating the right motivation, and then after we do the mandala offering. Lama Tsongkhapa did this so many times that the place where he did it, which is called Woka Choling, which is a cave in Tibet, nearby the border with India, there was a big stone that he uses as the basis where to do the mandala offering. The stone is completely consumed where he passed his hand. By so many times that he did. He did more than 1 million times. So he gave an enormous emphasis, and all the masters coming after him always gave a very, very great emphasis to make the mandala offering. Because as an important way of accumulating merit, as an important way of requesting the blessing, and as a way to create the causes to experience a pure environment. And nowadays, where we live in a world where one of the main problems we have is the polluted environment. Not only polluted the air, the water, the earth, we have the pollution of sound, the pollution of light, we have so many types of pollution. Electromagnetic fields, it's like very difficult. So, and the environment has a very strong influences in our mind also, in ourselves. So in order for our own spiritual practice, we need to have a pure environment. But if we do not create the causes, we will never have the result. So by offering a pure environment, we're also creating the causes for us to experience this pure environment. So I would say that in the times that we live nowadays, it becomes even more important to make the mandala offering. And we dedicate the merits so that the environment may become pure. So by offering a pure environment, we create the causes for all of us to experience such pure environment. And the original verse of the Guru Puja is verse number 32, where it says, "Chewa tragilin shilum porche rinchen da nyewe rinchen sokunga gebe no jupen zon sola miloncho dogo terchembo dawe dawe semge pulju shinge chokyab kon tuje chenla ulwar gi." Then Rinpoche have added the two verses, which is Sashipöki Chushimeto Tra in the beginning and Yidam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami in the end. Actually, it's the very common tradition to add verses within the Guru Puja. For example, in Tashilumpu, they have an extended version of Guru Puja that takes almost the whole day to recite. Because when it comes in the part of offerings, they put many, many, many verses of offerings. Then comes to prostrations, they add many verses of prostrations. Then comes to purification, they do the Vajrasattva practice, and then there is the purification of the 35 Buddhas, and so like this we can go on and on. So it's very normal to add other verses in order to give more emphasis. So because normally we are used to recite, to make the mandala offering with the verse Sashipöki Chushimeto Tra, that's why we have added it here to give some emphasis to the mandala offering. But actually, the meaning of the verse Sashipöki and the verse Chewa Tragilation and Porche is basically the same. Okay? So, I will just do a quick translation of the verse Sashipöki Chushimeto Tram, because we don't have in the English version here, which it says, "To you, assembly of Buddha visualized in front of me, I offer this mandala, constructed on a basis of flower, perfumed water, and incense, adorned with the Mount Meru and the 4 continents, sun and moon. By the merits of having made such offerings, may all sentient beings enjoy this pure sphere of reality." So we may, by the merits of having made such offering of a pure environment, may all sentient beings be able to experience also the same pure environment. Okay. Then the actual verse of the Guru Puja says, "To you, all refuge protectors, treasures of compassion, eminent and supreme field of merit, we present, with pure faith, Mount Meru and the 4 continents 1 billion times over. The 7 precious royal emblems, the precious mirror symbols and more, perfectly delightful environment and those dwelling within, and grand treasury of all wishes and wealth of gods and men. Yidam Guru Radna Mandala Kam Niryatayami, O Guru Yidam, to you I offer this precious mandala." Okay? So the meaning here is that we offer the perfect world. And then here we can go into details. What are the 7 royal symbols? So we have the royal elephant, the royal horse, the royal queen, the royal minister, and like this we go on. And but it is like, then there is the details about each one of them. But before going into that, first we just imagine that we are offering a beautiful, pure environment with all the precious things we may be able to imagine inside of it. Okay? And by offering this, through these merits, may every sentient being experience a pure environment. That's what we dedicate as we do it. And then we also make it as a way of a request of blessings. So when we do the mandala offering, when we finish it, we can close it towards us, or we can close it forwards towards Guru Buddha. Okay? Also when we build up the mandala, we can, let's say, close it towards us or towards Guru Buddha, in front of us. When we do it in front, which means we put emphasis in the fact that we offer to Guru Buddha, When we close it towards us, it means we give emphasis in requesting them and receiving the blessings. Okay. Normally, most of the times, I always say closing it towards us. Okay. Okay. So, this is what we call the mandala offering. It is actually a very, very important practice that we need basically to do. But it's our environment is so important. That's why it becomes important also to make the mandala offering. Okay? And by this we can understand another thing is that making offerings is a way through which actually we create the causes in order to experience later the result. So by offering the objects of the five senses, we create the causes in order to be able to experience them. By offering a pure environment, we create the causes to be able to have a pure environment ourselves also. So this is what we are also doing as we do the offerings. Okay? I think it's quite clear, no? Okay. Yes? Oh, yes, sorry. When we do the first part of the mandala offering, when we do physically, we turn with our pulse, looking downwards, and we turn 3 times outwards, and then after 3 times inwards. This means that we take away the bad thoughts first, outwards, and then we turn it inwards, bringing in the positive motivation. We do it putting with the wrist downwards, because it says that here there is one we call Janju Semtsa, which is called the channel of bodhicitta. Okay? Basically, we could say there is one of energy channel here that is connected directly to our mind. So by passing through it, it helps us somehow to, let's say, make our mind more sensitive. So that's why as we somehow rub it, as we go outwards, to take away the bad motivations, inwards, to bring in the positive motivation. Okay? Okay, so now we will stop for lunch. And then after that, after lunch, we will conclude the part of offerings, and we will start with the part of purification of the negative karma, then the next part of the 7 limb prayers. Okay?
Jetsun lame kutse raptenchi namkar chinle chochur gepada losan tempe dreme sasumgi drove munse tato ne gyurchi nimo dele tsendele nime kuyan delekshin ninsen takto delekpe kuncho sumke jingelo Concho sumge ngodrup sol, concho sumge trashisho. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the 3 jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness.